For 1MEF, Native Fury is a force deployment and closure exercise. We pride ourselves in being expeditionary. The capabilities that has allows us to rapidly deploy, move out of the southwest United States, and close a combined arms MACTAF within days. It is a complex thing to do. It requires good teamwork between the Navy and the Marine Corps, and if we don't practice that under realistic circumstances, then when the time comes for us to do it, we're not going to be very good at it. Here we're doing what's called an in-stream offload, meaning the USNS Bobo and the USNS Say. We'll anchor several nautical miles off the coast, and then we'll assemble landing craft and bring that equipment ashore. One of the great things about Exercise Native Fury is that not only are we going through the mechanics of offloading the ship, but we're also distributing that equipment. Adjacent to us is Naval Beach Group 1, who is also serving as the commander of the Maritime Preposition Force. So they command and control the ships associated with this exercise. Additionally, they're the naval engineers that offload the equipment from the ship, bring it to the beach where the Special Purpose MACTAF receives and then distributes that gear. It's the Navy part of the team, in this case Naval Beach Group 1, that is responsible for assembling that lighterage. At that point, once the ships are anchored, that roll-on, roll-off discharge facility is ready. The lighterage, the barges that bring that stuff ashore. The Marine Corps part of the team, in cooperation with their Navy partners, offload the equipment onto the RDF, onto the landing craft. Navy brings them ashore. They're met by the Navy Beachmasters and what's called the Landing Force Support Party, or the LFSP Beach Operations Group. That's the Marine Corps part. There's a little bit of a handoff there at the beach where the equipment's driven off onto the shore. The Landing Force Support Party takes ownership of that, brings it into a staging lot, does some very basic maintenance and accountability, and then we distribute it to the elements of the MACTAF from there. Once that equipment is staged and prepared by the LFSP, we have what's called a driver pool. We have several hundred Marines organized into convoy teams that will take that gear from the MACTAF, from what's called the Arrival and Assembly Operations Group, to the various elements of the MACTAF, or Arrival and Assembly Operations elements. So each element has one of those, and they will distribute the gear via these tactical convoys. They cover about 200 kilometers. We're moving this equipment all the way across the peninsula, that is the U.A.E., and then organizing it in the elements of the MACTAF prior to reconstitution. The significance of Native Fury to the Marine Corps is relatively simple, but very important. Although Native Fury may be small in scale, it helps us get at the complex but basic building blocks of deployment and force closure. We have to be good at deployment. We have to maintain our expeditionary nature. If we can't deploy, then we can't fight.
For the Native Fury exercise, we've been allowed to do some things that the Emirati, quite frankly, haven't allowed before. For example, we've been able to convoy our equipment from one location all the way to the other location using public roads. The Emiratis have provided security alongside with our security, We're very grateful for that and allowing us to be able to exercise that equipment. That was an important training objective, to take that equipment and to convoy it 150 kilometers, because it would determine whether that equipment is being maintained properly and also just determine the readiness of the equipment. It was a really good test of not only our ability to command and control the convoys and to bring this MAGTF driver pool together and to make them into a cohesive unit, but it was also a really good test for testing the roadworthiness of the equipment and the maintenance readiness of the equipment that we just pulled off of the MPF ship. We developed this MAGTF primarily for this, so we could work closely with the commander of the Maritime Preposition Force and be able to provide that Navy Marine Corps team to demonstrate to our allies, to our adversaries, and also to our friends our ability to conduct MPF operations.
We have come together as a team very quickly. It is very gratifying to see Marines and sailors being professional, executing their jobs, and done remarkably well, pulling off a very complex operation that is maritime prepositioning. We've got real ships, real equipment, real convoys. We've deployed Marines from Southern California. It's a very realistic exercise. Maritime Prepositioning Force is a historically proven concept. It's been used every single time that the Joint Force of the United States has engaged in major combat operations. If there is a MAGTF that needs to assemble some combat power and fight somewhere ashore,